What was the original problem statement?
The original problem statement that we set out to solve was how do we manage talent at scale? In this company's hyper growth phase, we were kind of doubling in team size almost every year. The ability to identify what are the critical skills, where does each employee stand with respect to the required skill sets, and then using that to build customized learning plans for each individual was the problem statement we were trying to address.
Why was solving this problem critical to your business goals?
Um, Over the last couple of years, MathCo has adopted a different structure where we have built teams around the end-to-end analytics lifecycle. Our roles include engineering, GenAI, product, analytics consulting, and machine learning. Today, we have about 55 plus roles for the delivery teams. Solving this problem becomes critical because each role requires a different set of skill sets. It's a combination of technical skills, domain, and functional skills, and mapping each individual to their strengths and weaknesses and areas of improvement was absolutely critical from a deployment standpoint, and more importantly, on creating personalized learning journeys for them.
What specific solution did Enqurious offer?
Enqurious came in with the whole end-to-end talent enablement solution, which provided our ability to identify the right skills for each role that we have in the company, create customized learning programs, periodic profiling and assessment, and then at a central level, ability to report and then diagnose different issues. This was critical because analytics today is not single skill role, right? A lot of things have to come together, and the right set of people also have to be paired together in order to deliver high impact to our projects.
What factors made you choose Enqurious over other alternatives?
I think the biggest differentiator Enqurious provided us was it was built and run by practitioners who have seen this world, who have dealt with projects and teams, compared to the other options in the market that had a ready-to-ship off-the-shelf product. Enqurious took out the time, spent time with us, with my delivery leadership, and understood nuances for each role, each project. The typical off-the-shelf solutions that we got to address the profiling activity were very generalized, cookie cutter. I'll not be at fault when I say that mostly hello world type programming questions boxed into a 60-minute one, very rigid in terms of structure and framework. But what we needed was something that was a little more free flowing, right? Typical simulation of a live project. If I am building a media mix solution, our analysts have to understand the importance of ad stocks, lags, and everything, and that was inbuilt for during the assessment activity. It was definitely not the traditional way of profiling and assessing individuals. It was 12 hours worth of assessment spread over 2 days, which tested on all of these dimensions. You might be a great programmer where you know the language or the technology really well, but you struggle at applying, or you might have great ideas in applications, but your technical skills might not be up to it. Ability to differentiate these two is something that Enqurious very clearly provided to us, and then that helped us in kind of mapping onto downstream activities on fixing those talent gaps. Another differentiator that I've noticed was the profile report that we received for each individual helped us in isolating not just tool level or a technology level nuances, but sub elements to that also. And that provided a valuable input when it came to understanding specific nuances of what needs to be the focus area. The insights that were generated kind of led us onto a path where we were developing learning content for advanced level skill sets. Moving away from the traditional, here is a subscription for a particular channel, go ahead and fix it, to now I'm having conversations with each individual that point ABC is of focus for you because this is what we have kind of understood from the earlier part. Moving away from a broad brush training, which we track from the number of hours one has attended, to a very personalized, nuance-based, learning where periodic evaluations happen, and then we could use them from a profiling standpoint. All of this kind of came together in this initiative that we have done called Employee 360, where we track along with their MathCo journey, their skill sets, and whenever a demand opens up or a role opens up, we have a proximity score that allows us to staff them on the right project based on what they have done and what learning they have pursued after the profiling activity.
How did the solution ultimately fix your talent enablement gap?
I think this solution sits at this the nerve center of our talent strategy. One, we know at an organization level which skills we have enough of capacity and capability, and which skills we are not enough adequately staffed on. This also gives me a segue to create specific hiring targets, hiring plans for my talent acquisition team to source from the market. And then in the long term, create training programs where the internal team kind of also gets upskilled on that. Um, from a from a company profiling standpoint or economics of the company standpoint, I wanted to move away from experience as the sole currency of talent quality to skill set. And this pivotal shift was enabled by our partnership with Enqurious.
What was the overall impact?
Well, I'll quantify the overall impact from the initiative in three parts. One, I think we covered a little bit earlier on um, pinpointing what needs to be the training objective or the learning objective for each individual on a longer term horizon. Today, for example, instead of putting everyone for training for everything, I have pinpointed which level you are at and what needs to be your next, training or learning program in order to move up the proficiency ladder for the each skill. Second part was from a demand fulfillment standpoint. Our SLAs were significantly improved, primarily because we moved away from a subjective fitment profiling to a more quantifiable role-ready score, which almost reduced our deployment time by 50%, and more importantly, fewer rejections or returns of the candidate to the profile match. And the third part at an overall level was ability to staff right team together. As MathCo scales, as our projects become bigger, as our accounts grow, it will cease to be a one role family initiative. So we'll have to staff, the right consultants, the right machine learning experts, the right product guys, the right GenAI and engineering folks. This role readiness score is a standardized platform for us where we can look at somebody who's clearing the requirement. Over the last couple of years, we have created our skill registry called MathCo Capability Hub, which tracks about 300 plus skills. For each of the skills, we have defined 5 proficiency levels, right from the basic to the most advanced one. General logic was to have subjective profiling done where an individual will rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 5 and then the manager will sign off. Enqurious helped us in making it more objective. So each level of increased proficiency will bring in that complexity, will bring in that understanding of the technology and focus on both efficiency and effectiveness. This was graded for each individual. Today, that enabled us to create learning programs on the advanced level. So a shift that we observed was get people ready for, say, SQL intermediate level. So now we know what advanced level of SQL means, and we are getting more and more people trained in. This also enabled us to allow people to rotate roles, which is one of the USPs for the company. That if you are a data scientist and you want to learn front end and become a product engineer or a full stack engineer in the near future, we can definitely create a career path for them and then train them on the right pieces based on where do they stand currently, which is provided by this initiative, and then creating customized learning journeys. That has benefited a lot of our people. And we have today a team of about 400 people in the GenAI space, all homegrown, and they're continuously adding more and more people to that role family.